What if I told you that the United States has just deployed a weapon right on China's doorstep that is considered almost impossible to stop? This is not a nuclear missile, but if a war breaks out, it could destroy China's most advanced defense network within minutes. And here's the biggest surprise. This is the first time America has deployed it to a frontline military outpost in the Indo-Pacific. The weapon is called the Dark Eagle Hypersonic Missile System. The United States deployed it for the first time to Guam during the Valiant Shield 2026 multinational military exercise. This marks the first-ever deployment of America's long-range hypersonic weapon, LRHW, to a frontline base in the Indo-Pacific. But the real question is, why Guam? The answer is simple. If a major conflict erupts over Taiwan or the South China Sea, Guam will become America's most critical military hub in the Pacific. It is home to Andersen Air Force Base, Naval Base Guam, strategic ports, nuclear submarine facilities, and logistics centers. From here, stealth fighters, bombers, aircraft carriers, and nuclear submarines would support combat operations across the Indo-Pacific. In other words, Guam is not just another island. It is the backbone of America's military strategy in the region. But the real story begins with the missile itself. Dark Eagle is unlike any conventional weapon. It has an estimated range of 2,776 to 3,500 kilometers and travels at speeds exceeding Mach 5, or more than 6,100 kilometers per hour, roughly 3,800 miles per hour. However, its greatest strength is not its speed. It's its boost-glide flight profile. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles that follow a predictable trajectory, Dark Eagle can maneuver and change course during flight, making it extremely difficult for existing air defense systems to intercept. If launched from Guam, Dark Eagle could place many of China's most valuable military assets within striking distance. Air defense radar stations, command and control centers, missile launch sites, naval bases, and logistics hubs could all become potential targets. The U.S. strategy is clear: strike China's critical military infrastructure at the very beginning of a conflict, weaken its defenses, and create safe corridors for stealth fighters, bombers, and naval forces to carry out follow-up operations. But China has been preparing for this scenario for years. Along its coastline, Beijing has built one of the world's most powerful anti-access/area denial, or A2/AD, networks. This defensive shield combines advanced radar systems, layered air defenses, electronic warfare capabilities, satellite surveillance, and long-range missiles designed to keep American forces away. One of its most famous weapons is the DF-26, often called the Guam Killer, because it is capable of striking U.S. military bases on Guam. In other words, China has the Guam Killer, and now America has responded with Dark Eagle. However, there is another reality. Despite this deployment, China is still widely considered to be ahead of the United States in hypersonic technology. It has already fielded advanced systems such as the GOEF-17, the YJ-21 anti-ship missile, and the long-range DF-27 hypersonic missile. That means Dark Eagle is not necessarily giving America the lead. It is America's attempt to close the growing technological gap. Dark Eagle also brings another major advantage: mobility. A single battery consists of 4 trailer-mounted launchers, each carrying 2 missile canisters supported by heavy M9, 83A, 4HEMTT transport vehicles, and a dedicated battery operations center. The entire system is road mobile and can be rapidly transported anywhere in the world aboard a C-17 Globemaster III aircraft. Its shoot-and-scoot capability allows the launchers to fire and relocate within minutes, reducing the risk of enemy counterattacks. But there is one major problem. As impressive as Dark Eagle appears, it is still struggling to reach full operational capability. According to the July 2, 2026 Government Accountability Office report, the program is already more than 2 years behind schedule. Manufacturing issues, unclear production standards, and technical challenges continue to delay deployment. The second operational battery has already slipped by at least 6 months, and the upgraded missile planned for that battery has not yet completed flight testing. So while the United States has demonstrated its most advanced hypersonic weapon to the world, it still lacks a large inventory of fully combat-ready missiles. Meanwhile, China continues expanding both its hypersonic missile arsenal and its A2/AD defense network. The biggest question now is this: can Dark Eagle truly penetrate China's powerful defense system if a conflict ever begins? Or will China's years of preparation and rapidly expanding hypersonic capabilities prove to be an even greater challenge? The answer could shape the future balance of military power across the Indo-Pacific for decades to come.